Top 11 Scariest Reddit Stories. Hey everybody, welcome to the Top 11. Reddit is home to thousands of scary and unexplained stories that can frighten the life out of you. Today we have compiled a list of true scary stories that are guaranteed to send shivers down your spine. So stick around as we count down the Top 11 Scariest Reddit Stories. Make sure to watch until number 1 to discover how a Reddit post turned the life of a man upside down and led to the murder of his kids. Number 11. Kicking off our list of the top 11 scariest Reddit stories, we have the story of an abusive father at number 11. Growing up with abusive parents is one of the most devastating things that can happen to a child and can have a negative impact on their lives all the way to adulthood. And that's exactly what happened to a Reddit user who decided to share his story on an Ask Reddit thread. The user detailed all the horrific and traumatic abuse that his family suffered from the hands of his father all throughout his childhood. His story took a twisted turn as he explained that the father was having a heart attack in front of him, and as the father struggled to reach the phone to call for help, the user refused to help him and watched as his father slowly and painfully died in front of him. Number 10. Moving on to number 10, we have a post that was shared on the Ghosts subreddit that's guaranteed to send chills down your spine. The user explained that she downloaded an app on her phone that's supposed to record any noise that happens during the night. Before the incident we're about to tell you, the usual sounds that the app recorded was nothing more than snores and sleep talk. On the day of the creepy incident, the woman decided she would go through all the records that the app had recorded to delete them. Much to her shock, in one of the records, she could hear clicks that got louder as the record went on. Then she heard her own voice saying, "What are you doing?" To which someone with a deep voice replied, "Nothing." With the Reddit post, the woman attached the record so Redditors could investigate more on the issue. It still remains a mystery whether or not this was really a ghost or just a mere intruder who broke into her house. Number 9. Up next on the list, we have a Reddit story about a safety inspector worker. He inspected and commissioned highly pressurized containers with chemical compounds. His job was of extreme importance because one small mistake could end up killing a lot of people. In an extremely eerie Reddit confession, he admitted that he had heard voices in his head since his teenage years. And while the majority of these voices are harmless, one of them is extremely violent. As he worked, the voice was continually telling him to mess up the containers to kill someone. And whenever the voice went silent, he would know to double check the containers. Number 8. Up next on the list, we have the story of an EMT and his deputy brother. The two siblings worked in a small town in Colorado. While patrolling the streets in the middle of the night, the two found a young girl sitting on a swing all alone in a park. She was looking down at the ground with her back facing them. The brothers glanced at each other, sensing that there was something abnormal about the situation. When they looked back at the swing, the girl was nowhere to be found. Number 7. At number 7, we have an extremely creepy story with a plot twist. On an Ask Reddit subreddit thread about camping, a Reddit user shared his story about a scary encounter that he will never forget. He and his friends would play a game to walk through the woods in the middle of the night with no flashlights. One night, while on a camping trip, the group walked further into the woods and started to hear whispers echoing. Terrified, they decided to walk back to the campsite, and that's when they discovered the source of the whispers. They saw a woman dressed in all black, crawling all the muddy ground while whispering incomprehensive words. Luckily, this turned out to be a drunk woman who had wandered away from her campsite and was too intoxicated to walk back. Number 6. We have the story of a fire safety director at number 6. He worked at a mental asylum that housed the worst of the worst, ranging from cannibals to serial killers. One night, a group of inspectors radioed to him that they were hearing voices while doing their routine inspections. The odds of patients running away from their rooms was almost impossible since each section of the asylum was isolated. Eventually, the inspectors walked away without finishing the job. The director decided to finish their job. As he was checking the alarms, he felt as if he was being watched. He turned around and he froze in fear at the sight in front of him. A legless shadow with a head and a torso and with holes for eyes. Number 5. Moving on to number 5, we have the story of a physician who worked at a local hospital. During a routine checkup on one of his patients who just had open heart surgery, he saw something drop from the ceiling of the room in the corner of his eyes. He turned around to check out what it was, but there was nothing out of the ordinary. When he returned to his unconscious patient, she opened her eyes and told him that her dad was there with them before passing out again. Number 4. Posted on the Ask Reddit thread, a Reddit user shared a story of his uncle who had received a call in the middle of the night. It turned out it was his uncle's friend. The two chatted for a short while, and the friend informed him that everything in his life was going to go great. They said their goodbyes and the uncle hung up. That's when he realized that he was actually dreaming. The following day, he woke up to the news about his friend getting murdered by a house intruder at the same time that he had dreamt of the call. Number 3. In the third place on the list, we have one of the scariest stories that feels like it was part of a horror movie. In the story of Reddit's brother who had awoken with scratches all over his body. It all started around 2 a.m. when he woke up screaming. His mother quickly went to his room to check upon him, but he was nowhere in sight. When she turned on the light, she found him with scratches on his arms, back, and torso. Number 2. Perhaps one of the scariest on this list, we have a horror story of a woman during the late 1960s. At 3:39 a.m. of each night, she would find herself completely awake. This lasted for months, until one night she woke up at that exact time and found a slender, metallic figure standing in her room. As she was frozen in her place, she heard the sound of a mirror breaking in the hallway. She freaked out and quickly ran to wake her parents and brother up. The family found shards of broken glass scattered on the floor of the hallway. The catch? They never had a mirror there to begin with. Number 1. Lastly, in the first place on our list, we have the tragic story of a Redditor who went on the relationship advice subreddit to ask for advice about his cheating wife. She was having an affair with her neighbor, and although the husband was aware of it, he didn't want to leave her. Redditors called him an idiot for not divorcing her, so the man decided to take their advice and confront her. The wife, not wanting her husband to take the children, went on to murder both her children and stabbed herself. She survived the stab and was sentenced to 120 years in prison. Please subscribe to the Top 11 YouTube channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our amazing videos. Check out this playlist of my personal favorite videos on this channel about some really crazy and interesting clips. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.